What's going on there, guys? Good morning, good afternoon, some out there. It is the Earthmaster here on this Tuesday morning, afternoon, depending on where you're at. December 14th, 2021, about 10:33 a.m. California time. Latest quake on the Earthquake 3D globe, a 4.1 striking off into the Oregon region, just off the coast there. Once again, in the area where we've seen that earthquake swarming happen here a few days ago. Looking at the latest map on the USGS here of 2.5 and above shows that 4.1 occurring just a little bit under an hour ago or so. It took the USGS a little time to issue it, but nonetheless, little activity ramping up outside of the looks like the Blanco fracture zone once again. Of course, this area has seen some significant movement over the past 7 days or so, with well over 100 earthquakes of moderate size, including two 5.8 earthquakes. It has since died down over the last, I would say, 2 days or so. There's only been just one or two earthquakes in this region, but today a 4.1, as I mentioned here, just occurring about in less than an hour ago. We are seeing a little bit of uptick along the west coast and the Intermountain West regions, all showing some heightened movement. It's pretty clear as day. Actually, it's blue clear sky here in Northern California after quite a bit of wind and rain and a bunch of snow in the mountains. Pretty happy about that. Anyway, earthquake activity, you can see it in a line stretching up through Utah into the mountainous areas, Wyoming, Montana area. Also a pretty good swarming of activity occurring around the Bay Area in I don't really consider that Northern California. At least us folks here in Northern Cal don't really consider the Bay Area Northern Cal. But either way, a little bit of movement around the Calaveras Fault system, the Pleasanton Fault. All this area right here seeing some microquake activity ramping up. Also outside of Fremont and the Half Moon Bay area seeing some movement as well. This one occurred last night, this 2.3. Since then, we've seen a couple smaller microquakes within the vicinity of that 2.3. There's that movement stretching. What do we got going on there with I didn't know they had quarry blasts out there in this region. Sulphur Springs Valley, 1.9 quarry blast. Alrighty. But other than that, definitely some activity ramping up along the west coast. Southern California, not so much. It seems like pretty much north of the Garlock fault structure. I don't even think the pressure has reached down here in the eastern Sierra Nevadas yet, or over here, I should say. Just kind of seeing this movement confined for the most part here in the Bay Area, and also east of the Sierra Nevadas, stretching through southern Nevada and Utah area, where we're seeing a little swarming activity. But the Ridgecrest, Long Valley, Antelope Valley, all these areas very dwindling when it comes to dwindling of earthquake activity. There's only two recorded earthquakes here on the all magnitudes map over the last 24 hours. It's very, I can't say the last time I heard that, or the last time I seen that happen. It's been a while. Down here, also very quiet. The San Jacinto Fault area, not a whole lot going on. We are seeing a little bit of movement around the Salton Sea, but overall, Southern California, the Garlock Fault structure, this whole area very quiet, except for you can probably draw a line right here where activity is kind of picking up through the north part of the state into the Washington region. A little bit of activity up around the Seattle area, just outside of Seattle, it looks like. And down here around the Portland area, or Mount Hood, I should say, a little bit of activity kicking up at the southern end of the volcano there in Oregon, Mount Hood. Cascadia, as far as any surface quaking goes, is relatively quiet, except for this 4.1. I did not see this pop up on the seismograph. Of course, it was about 45 minutes ago, almost an hour now, since this earthquake struck. Let's see here. Eastern part of the country, pretty quiet. Dwindling activity. We did see a pretty good swarm of movement around the Indonesia area last night, including that 7.3 earthquake here that came in as originally a 7.7 and then got bounced around from there. Settled in at a 7.3 magnitude at 18.4 kilometers. It did not trigger a tsunami. Shortly thereafter, there was a phantom quake, an 8.1 magnitude earthquake around the Tokyo area, right about in this region right here. And that came in Like I said, almost immediately, no, I would say maybe about half an hour after the 7.3 struck. Not for sure what triggered it. There was an earthquake app that sent out that notification, I believe, by sending out that false notification to quite a few folks there. But there was no earthquake whatsoever, not even a smaller one that took place. It was completely a phantom earthquake. Today in the Japan region, pretty quiet, stretching up through the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench and down through the Philippine Plate, all showing some not a whole lot of activity in this area. If you're looking at the map in general, following that 7.3 last night, we did see a little bit of further movement around the Iran area, but other than that, pretty much has come to a halt, spreading to the west here. Not even any activity in the South Sandwich regions down south in the South Atlantic Ocean. The South America area, a couple earthquakes overnight. Looks like some deeper movement into the Peru-Chile Trench and up through the Middle America Trench. Just a little earthquake here with a 4.5 near El Salvador. That was last night. But overall, I think we're seeing seismic increase in the west coast, kind of amping up here. Going to have to keep a close eye on the Oregon area, or off the coast of Oregon once again, for potential movement. Gulf of California did see, well, this one right down south here. This is close to the Gulf, south of the border. Looks like well off the Imperial Fault System. Inland, pretty shallow earthquake at 5.5 kilometers. Let's see what else we got here. As far as Yellowstone movement goes, I don't think we're seeing any activity there yet. What do we got over here? Let's see. There's the 7.3 from last night showing up on the seismograph stations. Of course, you can see some of the S waves, surface waves kicking up there with the squiggly, wiggly lines, if you will. Sometimes that can be spotted around the globe on large earthquakes, but for the Yellowstone station, it picked it up pretty significantly as well. Looks like a little bit of localized earthquake activity. This one here a little distant from Yellowstone, at least from this station. These here look like they could be localized, but within the region. I believe it's this earthquake here in Idaho. Let me see what we got in the all magnitudes. Yeah, I believe those earthquakes that you're seeing right there on the Yellowstone map is these 3.6 and a 2.8. 3.6 occurred at 1649. A good way to check this out is the timestamp. 1649 would be right about here. That is going to be that 3.6, and looks like there was another one afterwards, but I'm not. Looks like closer to 1800. Maybe up here around the Montana region? It's possible. Around 1800, huh? Well, thanks, USGS. They just killed it. They just killed it. What I think that is this earthquake off the coast here. But, see, this is close to the 1800 mark, 1744. And looking at this timestamp here on this here, it would be 17... pretty close. Uncertain of what that is. That could be another 1744. I'm not quite certain if this is the earthquake that occurred off the coast of Oregon, but either way, definitely picking up some activity along the North American plate today with the Pacific Plate interaction and the Juan de Fuca Plate. So keeping an eye on the Oregon area and the California region today. Just kind of watching it. So busy day, busy day. Got a little bit of sunshine. I got to get cleaned up here in the yard for some sticks. I shouldn't say sticks, but branches that kind of fell down out in the field. Got to clean those up, I think, a little bit later today, and just enjoy the sunshine while we have it. We got more rain and snow in the forecast, and that's pretty awesome in my book because we need it. We need it. I don't want this place to turn into a desert, which would not be good. And at least Northern California, Southern California, of course, typical desert, regional desert. But up here in Northern California, we're supposed to have some fairly wet winters, and we've been missing them the past 2 or 3. So definitely happy to see some rain and snow. Looking at this earthquake up here in northern Alaska, way up there, 2.6. Kind of seeing some movement. I'm kind of wondering how many earthquakes up here in the northern part of the world and southern part of the world don't get reported. I'm betting you there's a lot more than what we think, that's for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here. Have a great day. Please stay safe out there. And we'll chat to you guys a little bit later on this afternoon.